Welcome to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. This show was created with the intention of helping others to help and love themselves. Aside from weekly skin tips, you will hear me feature amazing souls from around the globe who are making a difference by helping others in their own way. You may also hear me follow up with a guest I have hypnotized on an online edition of Love from the Hip, which is available on YouTube. Together we can make a difference, and it starts with love. Love from the Hip. Saint Teresa of Avila, also called Saint Teresa of Jesus, was a Spanish noblewoman with Jewish roots and one of the greatest mystics and religious women of the Roman Catholic Church. She is known for the Carmelite reform and was honored as the first woman to be Doctor of the Church by Pope Paul VI. Against her father's wishes, she entered the Carmelite convent of the Incarnation of Avila in 1535, and in 1555 underwent her spiritual awakening. Aside from her mission of reforming convents throughout Spain, she is known for her many spiritual writings. In 1577, St. Teresa started writing El Castillo Interior, or the Interior Castle, for her fellow nuns as a spiritual development guide. The book was published after her death in 1588 and is inspired by her vision of the soul depicted as a diamond in the shape of a castle containing 7 mansions, each containing many rooms. She interprets the journey of faith to have 7 levels ending with the union with God. In her seminal work, the first 3 mansions, or levels, are considered to be severe self-discipline and avoidance of all indulgence. The first mansion, or level, starts with the soul state of grace. The second mansion, also called the mansion of the practice of prayer, is where the soul seeks to advance through the castle by daily thoughts of God, recognition of God's work in the soul, and daily prayer. The third mansion is the mansion of exemplary life, which is when the soul has such a big love for God that it has an aversion to both mortal and venial sin. The soul also has a strong desire to work in service of others for the glory of God. The 4th through the 7th mansions are considered to be mystical or contemplative prayer. The 4th mansion is the first mystical level of the castle and marks the transition of the soul into the supernatural prayer as God takes more direct action to communicate himself to the soul. The 5th mansions are also called the prayer of union, is when the soul prepares for its ultimate union with God. The 6th mansion is when the soul has fallen deeply in love with God and is ready for spiritual betrothal to him. In the 7th mansion, or the final stage, the soul achieves clarity in prayer and a spiritual marriage with God. This is where the soul has penetrated to the very center of itself in this interior journey. Saint Teresa believed the higher mansions could only be achieved by being in a state of grace through the devotion of the soul's will to God, and also being able to humbly receive a love far beyond human capability. Saint Teresa also believed one could not receive God's gift in prayer or meditation without divine will. Carolyn Mace, motivational teacher and popular theologian, felt Saint Teresa of Avila's vision of the soul as a beautiful crystal castle with many mansions serves as the template for the modern-day spiritual journey. She brought Saint Teresa's metaphor back in her book, Entering the Castle. Mace felt it to be the perfect template where one could not only meet different aspects of themselves and spirit, but also prepare for the ultimate encounter with their own divinity and God, source, spirit, universe, divine, whatever they choose to call it. The castle is a metaphor for the road to spiritual knowledge of God and your own soul. The soul is your spiritual castle, and doing the interior work helps you to find your path in the world. Entering the castle, like the interior castle, is a comprehensive guide for the journey of your life, or a journey into the center of your soul, where peace, love, joy, and God, spirit, source, divine, or universe await for you to not only discover them, but also claim them as your own. And every single one of us can access this castle and reach the center as long as our soul is willing, devoted, receptive, and coming from a place of great love. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing medical intuitive, Reiki master, spirit messenger, and channeler, and author of Choices, Nancy Byrne, on my show. She will not only share her soul's journey, but offer wisdom from spirit. And later on the show, we will open up the phone lines so she can offer you a spirit message as well. So stick around after this quick break.
Microneedling is a revolutionary treatment that can help reduce the appearance of acne scars, fine lines, pigmentation, wrinkles, even improve the appearance of stretch marks by stimulating collagen and elastin. Sakura Skin and Mind specializes in this procedure that jumpstarts your body's natural healing process. Sakura Skin and Mind believes in not only keeping the skin up to date with the latest trends in the skincare industry, but also keeping the skin beautiful, fast, pretty, painless, and affordable. Find out more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/1150kknw.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Love from the Hip, and that's HYP. Today I have the pleasure of having medical intuitive, Reiki master, spirit messenger, and channeler, and author of Choices, Nancy Byrne, on my show. Thanks for being here today, Nancy.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm delighted to be on your show.
Yes, absolutely. So do you believe, just as St. Teresa did and Carolyn Mays does, that we can each access our castles or our souls?
I certainly do. I think that all the answers we ever need are within us, and we have everything we need to live happy, fulfilling, prosperous, and healthy lives. They're all gifts from Spirit.
Yeah. And so do you also then believe then by going deep within, we can find this bond or this union with Spirit, Source, Divine, whatever you want to call it, to help us on our purpose in life?
Yes, I think that Spirit wants to give us everything, and sometimes we don't ask because we don't feel that we're worthy. We think we're sinners. We think that, sometimes with our upbringing or societal norms, religious dogma, different things like that, we've been taught that, that all of our answers are outside of us. And we are all connected to one another and to Source. And once we realize who we really are, and I think form a deep connection with ourselves and love ourselves as Spirit loves us, there's nothing that can stop us. We really can change the world.
Yeah, I would bet all the anxiety and all the fear and everything just fades away. So when did you first hear or see Spirit?
Well, I didn't. I actually never seen Spirit, but when I was about 10, I guess, I grew up in a really abusive family, and I snuck out of the house. I was very depressed, and we lived cat-a-corner to the Catholic Church, and I went into the church and walked up to the front pew and knelt down and started to pray. And the church was totally dark except for 2 penance candles that someone had lit. And I was just begging God to please, please let me die. My rationale was that, so many people want to live and they die. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to die and I was still alive. So couldn't God just let me die and let somebody who wanted to live, live? And I felt a hand on my shoulder. And I turned around to see who it was. I thought, oh, it's a Catholic priest. He's going to take me home. I'm going to get beat up for sneaking out of the house now. Mm-hmm. And there was nobody there. And I don't know what I was thinking. I actually kind of knelt on the bench and looked behind me to see who was there. And there was no one there. And when I turned around, there was this golden light. It was just a soothing, soft golden light. It wasn't, white light or anything like that, but it permeated my soul. And I knew at that moment, even as a kid, that Spirit loved me, that I was loved, and that, it didn't matter if my mom and dad didn't love me. Almighty God loved me, and that's all I needed to make it through life. And it's not that it changed my life. The beatings didn't stop anything. It's just that I knew that I was loved, and I never felt loved. And, through my journey, I've also been able to overcome so much of my fear. I was so fear-based, and I had, we lived in Colorado at the time, and I had another experience that really kind of blew me away. But we had some little kids, a family that had moved in cat-a-corner to us. We lived in the country. There were really severe winds. We would get tornadoes and stuff sometimes. And one weekend, So the family, the mom and dad and the two little girls, probably about 2.5 and maybe 4 or 5, were outside helping their daddy put in a trampoline. And it was a huge celebration. The little girls were so excited. They're carrying the poles for their dad and, the tools and everything. And their dad was actually putting the poles in cement because of the high winds. And the mom had made a cake or something. They were having Kool-Aid. And then 3 weeks later, fast forward to 3 weeks later, we had this huge spring storm. And the thunder was just crashing, lightning was just coming down, and I was expecting a lightning fire. The wind was howling and it was raining, and I heard this great big bang, and I thought that our roof had fallen down or something. So I don't know why I went downstairs to see if the roof had fallen down, but I went down through the outdoor basement, and there was a little girl's trampoline just smashed to pieces against the back of our house. And I thought, oh God, those poor little girls are going to be so sad. They were so happy to get this trampoline. And I walked upstairs, and movement out of the corner of my eye, I saw movement, and I looked out, and there were these two little girls. And the little one, the younger one, didn't have any shoes. She just had on some underpants, no top. And the older one had on a little tank top and some shorts, but no shoes. And they were picking up the metal poles in the middle of a lightning storm. And I thought, oh my God, they're going to get killed. So I dialed the phone number, no answer. I thought maybe I was just nervous, so I redialed. There was no answer. So I jumped in my car and I drove over there. And I said, what are you two girls doing out here in a lightning storm? Get in the house now. Well, the little one, she didn't say anything, but she put her little hand on her hip, and the message was, you're not our mommy. You don't tell us what to do. So I changed my tone, and I asked the older one, I said, where's your mommy? And she said, oh, she's visiting Connie. She'll be back any minute. And I said, you could be hurt out here picking up these poles in a lightning storm. I said, please get in the house now and don't come out until your mommy gets home. And I promise I will pick up all the poles for you. Okay? And I think the older one was really relieved because she was dragging the little one in the house, And so I did. I picked up every single pole. I even picked up some lug nuts and stuff, and I stacked them on the side of their house so their daddy would be able to find them when he got home. And I drove home. I was just drenched. I changed my clothes. I was walking into the kitchen to get a can of soup, and it started hailing. And within just it seemed like just a matter of a few minutes, we had probably 3.5, 4 inches, maybe 5 inches of hailstones on our back deck.
Oh boy.
I looked out the window, and there were the little girls again. They must have found something, because the older one had her little hand held out, and they were walking around. And I thought, they're going to be killed. And without even thinking, I just screamed. And I pointed my finger and I said, I command you to stop this storm now. And it stopped. And then I was like, do. This is coincidence. It'll start up again pretty soon. And it didn't. And then I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to be turned into a charcoal briquette. Who am I to command the hand of God? The Spirit said, you are the hand of God, Nancy. You are all the hands of God. I need you more than you need me. I am spirit. No one can physically see me. No one can physically hear me. No one can physically touch me. I can't wipe the tears from a child's face, but you and your flesh and blood bodies can do all that and more. If I were to build an orphanage in the middle of the night, it would be thought to be an evil spirit and would be destroyed. But if one of you in your human bodies were to build the orphanage, it would stand. You're all here to walk each other home. And I need you more than you need me. And I just felt so honored that, we're here for a purpose. We're all here for a purpose. How could we possibly not love ourselves and realize the majesty that is in each and every one of us? We were created for a reason, and it's to help each other and make the world a better place and to walk each other home.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that powerful story. And I hate to interrupt, but we are going to have to take a quick break. But remember, this is a live show, and if you're wanting a message from Spirit, feel free to call 1-888-298-KKNW or 425-373-5527 after this quick break.
Experience. One word that can mean so much, especially when it comes to working with a realtor to buy or sell a home. The only thing better would be to have an experienced team guiding you through the process.
Hi, I'm Beth Phillips York.
And I'm Ray York.
Together, we own the York team, part of Keller Williams Real Estate. We are here to help you with your next property transaction. I have over 14 years of experience selling local residential real estate, investment properties, and homes just like yours. I'm also known as the Ghost Broker. Over the years, I've managed several residual energies at the properties we've represented or sold to clients. So if you need that service, I can help you as well.
For my part, I have worked many years in new construction, land development, and with builders. Combined, Beth and I make for a powerful team on your side. So put our wealth of experience to work for you.
Selling a home? Get a free property evaluation and market analysis with the York Team Real Estate. Buying a home? Let the York Team Real Estate exclusively represent you and your interests. Log on to YorkTeamRealEstate.com. That's YorkTeamRealEstate.com.
Taking care of your skin's largest organ can be difficult, but not for Astera Skincare Mist. This topical skin spray supports your skin's own natural healing defenses. Astera Skincare Mist is a light misting spray, free of parabens, alcohol, toxins, and fragrance. This all-natural topical skin spray will take the woe out of your skincare worries without clogging your pores. Irritation, inflammation, redness, post-procedure sensitivities? No problem. With Astera Skincare Mist, you can continue about your day without the skin dismay. Acne, rosacea, psoriasis, sunburns, rashes, and fungus? Don't let these skin concerns inconvenience you. Instead, let Astera Skincare Mist allow you to be happy in the skin you're in. Available at Sakura Skin and Mind. Learn more at esteracare.com. That's ESTHERA care.com.
If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Giving local voices a chance to shine. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. Don't forget this show airs right here on KKNW every Wednesday at 2 to 3 p.m. Today I have the pleasure of having medical intuitive, Reiki master, spirit messenger, and channeler, and author of Choices, Nancy Byrne, on my show. And remember, if you would like to ask Nancy a question, get a message from Spirit, then call 1-888-298-KKNW or 425-373-5527. So, Nancy, before the break, you were touching on your childhood. I was hoping that you could share a little more with my listeners.
Sure. I was both physically and sexually abused by my dad, I think since, I can't remember how early, but until puberty. And, it's not an easy experience to go through. I was always the black sheep of the family. And my dad wanted to kill me. I don't know why, but he tried 3 different times, so it seems like if a grown-up tries to kill a kid 3 different times, they would succeed, but somehow it never happened. And I just want to say, Secure, that, I wouldn't really want to relive my childhood again, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone else. But I am truly, honestly, and truly grateful for all of my life's experiences, because they have made me who I am today. And I, for the first time in my life, I really, truly, honestly, I love myself. Everything about me, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I know that we're all where we're supposed to be. And sometimes we go through some of these experiences to help us to grow. I think if everything was perfect all the time, we would remain stagnant. We wouldn't reach out for more. We realized, when you're terrified to do something, or you face all these obstacles and you don't think that you can surmount them, and you take that leap of faith and you do it anyway and you succeed, your confidence just grows, not only in yourself but in spirit. And I think that that's what spirit is trying to teach us. Sometimes spirit wants us to test our limits, to get out there and see what we can do, because we listen to what other people say. We always think we're not pretty enough, we're not smart enough, we're not good enough, we're never as good as somebody else, and that's not true. Mm-hmm. We've all been given gifts. They're not given just to a few elite. We need to realize who we are and reach in deep within ourselves and pull it out, because that's our gift to spirit. Spirit dances through us when we dance, and when we sing, spirit dances through us. And, we've been given so much. Wouldn't it be wonderful to just give a little bit back to spirit? And also, we've all been given, 365 days of our lives every year for as old as we are. It's not too much, to spend a little bit of your time communing with spirit every day. Mm-hmm. And spirit wants to have the kind of friendship that you have with a very close friend. If you have a really close friend, you talk about everything. You share your ups and your downs and your desires. And that's the kind of relationship spirit wants to have with us.
Right.
If you just called your best friend when you were stranded in the side of the road, that wouldn't be a very good friend. Friendship is reciprocal. That's the kind of relationship spirit wants with us. And that's a kind of relationship that we can have with spirit. I talk to spirit about everything, because, in my own mind, sometimes I'm human and I might not make the right choices, but spirit always guides us.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. Well, thank you for sharing that. Well, hey, Nancy, can we take our first caller?
Sure.
All right. So we have Amy from Seattle on the line. Amy, are you there?
I am. Hi.
Hi. Thank you for calling in.
Thank you.
So what is your question for Nancy?
Well, my question is can she give me a message about my chronic back pain?
Chronic back pain.
Her karmic what?
Chronic back pain.
Yes.
Oh. Is there some sort of maybe a burden you've been carrying with you? It doesn't seem to me like this is a really physical thing. It seems like there's some sort of a burden that you carry with you.
No, it's really a physical thing. I've been to a lot of different practitioners, and it burns all the way down to the knee.
Okay. Well, I want you to just try to, talk to spirit about this and see, because lots of times, even in the, I've worked with people that have had, heart problems, but it stems from them closing their heart usually, because, how they say up above as below. And sometimes when you have a problem in your soul or spiritually, or it manifests in a lot of other ways.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So you're saying that spirit guided you a lot through your tough times in your childhood and has brought you to where you're at today, so you're grateful for it.
I am so grateful, and just, it's not like everything just instantly became easy, but Spirit moved us to Whidbey Island. I lived in Colorado all my life, and I never wanted to move to Whidbey Island. And so after I'd written the book, I was seeing a massage therapist, and she invited me to come to Whidbey Island to to stay with her and her husband. She said, why don't you and Phil come and visit us, and I'll have a book signing for you. I was like really delighted. A book signing. Oh my God, somebody wants to have a book signing for me. And I didn't even hear the word island. As a kid, my dad had tried to drown me. And you know, when you're trying to breathe and you're getting water in your lungs, I still remembered that. And I was terrified. I mean, I would have a panic attack around water. I like to stick my toes in the mountain streams in Colorado, but I didn't want to be under it. I didn't want to be on top of it. I didn't want to be over it. And so I went home and asked Phil, and he said, you know, we've got the time. I've heard it's just a beautiful place. And I think we'll get tickets and go. So 3 days before it was time to come, Michelle called and said, Nancy, I'm really sorry, but I can't have a book signing for you. She said, Matt is getting transferred. We've got to get our house in Parker ready for sale. And because we're going to be moving to Whitby permanently. She said, but I love your energy. I just love it. And I want it in my house. So come over, get the key, and I'll give you the combination code. I was really bummed. I was really disappointed in spirit, you know, and I went home and I wanted to cancel. And Phil said, Nancy, the tickets are non-refundable. So we came, and when I still wasn't thinking when we pulled up to the ferry. It's a huge boat, Sakura. I mean, and they load, you know, semis on it and all these cars. And it was just like, I was like, no, honey, I can't get on that boat. Phil, please, no, I can't get on that boat. And Phil said, honey, it's an island. It's the only way we can get there. And so there's another way, but I didn't know about it, but I would have been equally terrified. So we got on that ferry, and I swear my fingernail marks are still in the leather upholstery of the car. And we got here, and I didn't look around. I was really upset with spirit for tricking me and getting me to come to the island. Well, you know, I made the choice to come, but so I just stayed on Michelle's really spacious outdoor deck and watched two little deer drink water out of a stream down below. And all I could think about was getting back on that boat and getting home. And when we did, I was just furious. I wrote an automatic writing to Spirit, and I said, you're Almighty God. You know everything. Why did you have Michelle invite me to go to Whidbey Island for a book signing when you knew she wasn't going to have it for me? And Spirit said, I had Michelle invite you to Whidbey Island because that's where you're going to be moving, Nancy. And I said, oh God, bet me. And so Phil and I just laughed. We thought maybe I was just traumatized by, you know, being on the island because I'm always spot on. And so we just ignored it. And then I started having dreams about being on the island, and they were just really cool dreams. It's kind of like the same feeling when I felt that golden glow in the church. And one of the dreams was I was swimming along the ocean floor with a little blowfish on my left and a great white shark on my right. And I was looking at all the plant life and all the underwater life. It was so beautiful and serene, and I could breathe underwater.
Wow.
And I just didn't want, I didn't want that time to end. And so when I woke up the next morning, I wrote another letter to Spirit, and I said, I'm always spot on. I don't know why I thought that you wanted me to move to Whidbey Island, and I know that can't be true because I'm going to spend the rest of my life in Colorado. And Spirit said, you weren't wrong, Nancy, as usual. You were spot on. Nancy, you still need to learn to let go and to trust, and you will flourish on the island. And our book will flourish too. And now I walk with this crazy group of women. It's called Ladies of the Beach, and we walk all the beaches on the island. And I have been up to my knees, up to my hips in water and against the cliff when the tide was coming in. I knew that I was taken care of. And another time we were walking in sink sand, and a few of us had gotten ahead of the rest of the group, and we were sinking in the sand. And Spirit said, drop to your knees and crawl. And so it's the first time in my life I've instantly obeyed. Wow. I got to my knees and I could crawl out. So then I was able to yell at everybody else, crawl, drop to your knees and crawl. And we all got out.
Well, it sounds like Spirit was offering you healing through bringing you to Whidbey Island.
That's exactly. Well, and
Nancy, I hate to interrupt you, but we're going to have to take a quick break. But remember, this is a live show, and if you're wanting a message from Spirit, then call 1-888-298-KKNW or 425-373-5527 after this break. On this weekly Skinny, I would like to discuss extreme sweating or hyperhidrosis, also called polyhidrosis. This abnormal sweating typically involves the extremities, underarms, groin, and face, and is usually unrelated to exercise or body temperature. It tends to begin in adolescence and affects an estimated 7.8 million Americans. People who suffer from hyperhidrosis sweat so much that it soaks through their clothing or drips off their hands. Even if they are not running, they will have sweaty feet, hands, or face. When the excessive sweating is localized, it's called focal hyperhidrosis. Palmoplantar hyperhidrosis is excessive sweating of the soles and palms, for example, whereas excessive sweating that affects the entire body is called generalized hyperhidrosis. What causes it? Hyperhidrosis occurs when the nerves responsible for triggering your sweat glands become overactive and call for more perspiration when it is not necessary. It can be hereditary, but often has unknown causes, and is therefore called primary idiopathic hyperhidrosis, idiopathic meaning of unknown cause. It can, however, also be due to underlying medical conditions, which is called secondary hyperhidrosis. Some of these health conditions include hyperthyroidism, menopause, gout, diabetes, nervous system disorders, and leukemia, to name a few. Although hyperhidrosis is not life-threatening, it can be rather embarrassing and uncomfortable. There are many treatments available today to help treat hyperhidrosis. Doctors can prescribe drugs to block the body's sweat trigger. Another way is with Botox injections to block the nerve signals that trigger sweat. These injections are done where there is excessive sweating, like in between toes or in the underarms. These injections are not a one-time deal, however. They typically last 3 to 4 months per injection. There are also physical ways to deal with it. Other than using a prescription-strength antiperspirant, there are medical devices now on the market which are said to be quite effective in reducing or eliminating sweat once and for all. MiraDry is a new FDA-approved device which uses a patented microwave energy which delivers the precise heating for the permanent destruction of the eccrine and apocrine glands, which are responsible for sweat and odor. Done in as little as an hour and under a local anesthetic, it is said to be a quick and pain-free treatment. The MiraDry currently only addresses the underarms, so if you are suffering from overly sweaty feet, Botox may be the way to go. Of course, knowing that hyperhidrosis is a symptom of many underlying health conditions, it is imperative that you eliminate any other causes with your medical provider first.
Hypnotherapy helps you discover and explore deep, sustainable life changes. Let Sakura guide your communication with your unconscious mind. Rid yourself of negative behaviors, fears, pains, and emotions. Weight loss, smoking, childhood trauma, chronic pain, and much more can be addressed. Begin healing now. Just $100 for the first session. Learn more, SakuraSkinandMind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com. Bring out the healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Make us part of your daily routine. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And feel free to email me at sakura@lovefromthehip.com with your comments, your criticisms, your questions, and well wishes. Let me know how I am doing. Today, I have the pleasure of having medical intuitive, Reiki master, spirit messenger, and channeler, and author of Choices, Nancy Byrne, on my show. So, Nancy, we have a caller on the line, so we can take Heather from Chicago. Heather, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I'm here.
Hi. Thanks for calling in. What is your question for Nancy?
Hi. Thank you. Hi, Nancy.
Hi, Heather.
I am calling. Hi. I'm calling because I'm recently. A very important relationship of mine has recently ended, and I really believe that we were brought together for a reason. Our paths had crossed numerous times, but we had never actually met until about 3 years ago. And it was such a great relationship and so important, but it has ended, and I just am struggling to come to terms with it and find out a reason why we were brought together to no longer be together.
Yeah, that's a hard one, isn't it, Heather? Everybody that comes into your life for a reason. And whenever somebody leaves your life, they also leave for a reason. Maybe you both taught each other everything that you needed to know. And I know that it's really hard for you to, when something like this happened, but nothing is ever taken from you without something better being given. And it may not seem like it right now, but if you thought this was good, just wait. There might be someone just around the corner that's just going to just really be everything that you could ever hope for. And that'll be a forever friend. And, also, I don't know, because I'm kind of getting that maybe you had to separate for a reason, and that maybe this person might come back into your life too. But whatever it's going to be, I know it's going to be it may have been a wonderful relationship, but it's going to be so much better than it was now. It kind of feels like maybe there's something that you have to just separate for a time, take a break from each other. So I wouldn't give up all hope. Whichever way it turns out, you are going to have somebody that just really loves you and will be with you from here on out.
Thank you. I'll keep good thoughts.
Okay, I will too.
Thanks for calling in. Thank you, Heather.
Bye.
All right. Well, Nancy, we also have another person waiting on the line, so let's go ahead and take Kathy from Kirkland. Kathy, are you there?
Yeah.
Hi there. Thanks for calling in. What's your question for Nancy?
I've been having some strange dreams. Strange dreams. And I'm really wondering what the message is for me to do.
Okay, can you repeat that one more time? We're having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah, I'm having a difficult time.
Okay, I've been having some strange dreams.
Strange dreams. Okay, and you want an interpretation of that?
Yeah, I wanted to understand why
you're having them.
Yeah.
Okay. Nancy, is that something you can answer?
In your dreams, most of the time, every person in that dream is a form of you, and different things that are in your life, different aspects of our personalities, and it's just helping you sort it all out. Sometimes I've had some horrible, horrible nightmares and not understood what they were about, but some it's all an aspect of your personality. Some of them were about people trying to kill me or being trying to help somebody, and they left me in a field without a car, without any way to get back home, and it was my abandonment issues. And so just if there's any way that you remember your dreams and can write them down and just ask Spirit to give you some guidance on it, it'll all come out, because it all is some sort of an aspect of you, of your personality, and things that maybe you need to just do a little work on, or just at least acknowledge, and not be scared of it either.
All right.
Do you understand that, Kathy?
Yeah, and I have another one. Does she teach people this medical intuition or Reiki?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you asking if she teaches medical intuition?
Yeah.
Oh, do you teach medical intuition or Reiki is what she's asking.
I haven't done anything here so far, but we're thinking about doing something like on Skype or Zoom, or we have an amazing healing center here where people go and get free classes and stuff. So I thought maybe sometime doing that.
Well, Nancy, how can she follow you just in the meantime?
Well, if she wants to get on my webpage, which is www.choices-nlb.com. Again, that's www.choices-nlb.com. You can reach me there. It has all the videos that I've been on, most of the shows. And also, we're going to start doing something where every month I give people write in and have questions. It's an Ask Nancy page. And I will pick 2 questions that I think the majority of people have questions about and answer them for them. And it's totally free because I know lots of people can't, really can't afford to have readings. So you can look for that. And, we're not going to sell your name or market you or anything like that. It's just me wanting to give back something.
All right. Well, wonderful. Well, thanks for calling, Kathy.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, Nancy, I want to jump into your book, Choices, but we are going to have to take a very quick break. So everyone stick around for more Love from the Hip.
Experience. One word that can mean so much, especially when it comes to working with a realtor to buy or sell a home. The only thing better would be to have an experienced team guiding you through the process.
Hi, I'm Beth Phillips York.
And I'm Ray York.
Together, we own the York team, part of Keller Williams Real Estate. We are here to help you with your next property transaction. I have over 14 years of experience selling local residential real estate, investment properties, and homes just like yours. I'm also known as the Ghost Broker. Over the years, I've managed several residual energies at the properties we've represented or sold to clients. So if you need that service, I can help you as well.
For my part, I have worked many years in new construction, land development, and with builders. Combined, Beth and I make for a powerful team on your side. So put our wealth of experience to work for you.
Selling a home? Get a free property evaluation and market analysis with the York Team Real Estate. Buying a home? Let the York Team Real Estate exclusively represent you and your interests. Log on to YorkTeamRealEstate.com. That's YorkTeamRealEstate.com. Men, care for your skin properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers their Gentleman's Groom Clinical Facial for just $120. Designed for your rugged skin, a deep cleansing clinical facial is like a 1-2-3 punch to wrinkles, age spots, and problem skin. Tame those brows, ears, and nostrils. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com. If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Want to hear something different from talk radio? Keep your dial on Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel and my podcast on Podcast One, Love from the Hip, and that's HYP. Today I have the pleasure of having medical intuitive, Reiki master, spirit messenger, and channeler, and author of Choices, Nancy Byrne, on my show. So, Nancy, I was hoping we can jump into your book, Choices.
Sure. I, never had any intention of writing a book, and I certainly didn't think that anyone would want to read anything I had to say. But one morning, I just woke up and I heard Spirit's voice. I mean, not with my physical ears. It was kind of like, a rushing stream and bells ringing, or like a bell from a church or something. Mm. And Spirit said, I want you to write a book. And I said that to him too. I said, no one would ever want to read anything I have to say. And Spirit said, Nancy, your life's experiences could help many. There are so many out there who are going through or have gone through some of the same things. and they could really be helped by your book. So you need to write it. So I got out of bed and sat down under my cottonwood tree and with my 2 dogs and my 5 cats and all the bees, because I raised bees in Colorado. And the book was I didn't really write the book. It was totally through automatic writing. I finished the book in about probably, it seemed like 2.5 weeks. And I didn't even know what I was writing. When I brought it in for my husband to, edit for typos and stuff, he said, "Oh my God, this is profound. You write so much better than you speak." And I thought, well, that's because I didn't write the book. But it's, every chapter has a different message for someone. It's not just for a select group of people. I think anyone who's led less than an optimal life or had an experience that they were really, had an experience that they were confused by. The book has all these little different answers, and it covers everything. And it's written in a really upbeat, kind of tongue-in-cheek manner. It's got lessons there's a chapter that talks about, a diamond was just a piece of coal until intense pressure was applied. Mm. And I really like that, because sometimes we go through intense pressure and we wonder why, because we have a purpose and we come out the other side diamonds. Mm. And a diamond is a lot more beautiful to look at than a piece of coal. Right, our souls, sometimes it's like our souls have to be purified. So there's just a lot of different lessons. And people have said that, they laughed when they read my book and they cried, and it was like sitting next to a friend, by the fireplace, just having a conversation. So, and I don't think that, honestly, if I would have written the book, it would have turned out quite that well. And I'm also writing another book, Remembering, which is soon to be released. And it's kind of, it follows the same format and everything that Choices did, but it's a lot more meat on the bones, mm-hmm. A lot more in-depth lessons to learn.
Okay. Are there any other messages that you would want to share with my listeners?
I would just want to tell the listeners that, above all else, to thine own selves, always be true. You can't really love, respect, or honor anyone else until you love, respect, and honor yourself. And no one else will ever love, honor, and respect you until you have that love in your heart for yourself. I think love is the most important thing. You have to, there's a verse in the book talking about a chapter about, when you're on a plane, they tell you to put the air mask on yourself first. Mm-hmm. If you don't, you become disabled and somebody has to pick you up off the floor and help you. You won't be able to help anybody else out. When you're true to yourself and you take care of yourself first, then you truly can reach out and give to others from a place of fullness, a place of abundance, not need or mm-hmm. lack.
Right.
We're all healers. We want to be, we want to get over that wounded healer phase, because we have so much to offer if we just knew the magnificence that is in each of one of us.
That's wonderful. Did this book help you to heal?
Pardon?
Did writing this book help you to heal?
It really did. I thought I was writing it for everybody else, and I was, but I was writing it for me too. Just reading. Sometimes I read this book, like probably every 3 or 4 months I read it and I think, wow, this is amazing. How could this come out of me? It's really a good book.
Yeah. So what do you say to people that are struggling to connect with spirit, divine, universe, source, whatever they call it? What do you say to them?
The first thing is, I think, to get out of our own way. We all have preconceptions about the way we're supposed to connect with spirit, how it's going to happen and everything. It'll happen. If you reach out and you call spirit, you want to connect and have a relationship with spirit. Spirit wants that more than you do. Mm-hmm. Spirit will be there. And if you have a question for spirit, ask. You ask and you will receive always. And it could take many forms. We expect things to happen a certain way. If you ask spirit to send a bird to sing, bad to the bone at 2:00 on Friday afternoon, it's probably not going to happen.
Right.
Spirit will bring you other messages, and just watch for the signs. Sometimes you'll just overhear a conversation. It's exactly what you've been wondering about. You'll just turn on a song on the radio and it'll be, sometimes you'll listen to a talk show and you'll get the message, so just be open and ask. I think that we have not because we ask not. And that's another message the Spirit has given me, that, I have to ask. Spirit, we have free will, and Spirit is not going to force anything onto us. We need to ask for help, and we will get it.
Okay. Wow, that's wonderful too. So can you also tell my listeners again where they can find you? And then also you had something going on with your website that you can share?
Yes, you can find me at www.choices. It's a dash. Everybody puts a hyphen in there and then they can't find me, but it's www.choices-nlb.com. And we are doing an Ask Nancy page. It's on there right now. So for anyone who has a question and they really can't afford to get, to pay for a reading, every month I'll be doing 2 or 4 free readings. I will answer your question and I'll post it on the webpage. We'll just use your first name or maybe a last initial if there's more people with your name. And I'll share it on the webpage and then you can get your reading. So again, it's www.choices-nlb.com.
All right. Well, I want to ask you one last question of where do you hope to grow from here?
I just hope to just fulfill my purpose and to do everything that I intended to do when I came into this body.
Okay. And do you feel that but you're on the path?
I definitely feel that I'm on the path.
Okay. And were there reminders along the way to let you know that?
Yes.
Yeah. So, and again, those are simple things, right? So to not doubt, is that what you would say to my listeners?
I would say sometimes it's just a matter of, I think sometimes I'm kind of hard-headed, so I had to stop a lightning storm, so I could see it. And I was in a place of great despair when that happened. My husband had divorced me and that was my whole identity. So that was really hard for me. But, through it all, Spirit shows us that we're never alone. We are never alone. Mm-hmm. And we have to know that we're always being taken care of. Spirit said, I am always protected. And I believe that with all my heart. And I just put my complete trust in Spirit because it would be stupid not to.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on the show today and sharing your story and being vulnerable. I think a lot of people find healing through that.
Well, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed it, Sectura.
Okay. And thank you again, Eric, my wonderful producer, and you, the listener. And you can find me at lovefromthehip.com or sakuraskinandmind.com. You can also follow me on Instagram or on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as well as my podcast on Podcast One, Love from the Hip, and that's HYP. And if you really love the show and are interested in supporting it through advertising, or if you have any questions or comments, then feel free to email me at sakura@lovefromthehip.com. Tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. for another Love from the Hip and make self-love contagious. Go ahead, I dare ya.